Welcome back. We are having a strikingly serious conversation with Dr. Michaela Dodge, one of the go to resources on all matters nuclear at the National Institute for Public Policy. Specifically, we're talking with her about the nuclear threat we now face and may soon face in even greater numbers from the Chinese Communist Party. And Michaela, I was very keen to talk with you about all of that as sort of a backdrop for an important book that colleagues of yours, Dr. Keith Payne and Matthew Kostlow, recently published, entitled Victory Denial: Deterrence in Support of Taiwan. Because, of course, we're anxious to dissuade the Chinese Communist Party from acting on not only its long-standing ambitions, but its increasingly vociferous statements that it intends to attack the island of Taiwan. And nuclear forces arrayed against Taiwan, for one thing, shorter range that we haven't even talked about, tactical ballistic missiles and the like, uh, are in the mix as well. Give us a sense of your team's findings about the nuclear threats, among others, that the Chinese are now posing to Taiwan, and what we must do to deter them.
Basically, the main problem that we are facing with Taiwan, but also with Russia, which is in play now in Ukraine, is that we lack comparable capabilities on the lower levels of the escalation ladder in those tactical nuclear weapons, in those intermediate range nuclear weapons. And so, if China has strategic parity or reaches strategic parity, like Russia has strategic parity, the concern is that they will be more inclined to use compellents on the lower levels of the escalatory ladder to dissuade us from helping Taiwan. And basically, that's the deterrence asymmetry that we have not had to deal with, and that will be a massive concern into the future. And we are seeing glimpses of those concerns when it comes to the way Russia has been talking about, preventing arms transfers to Ukraine and keeping Ukrainian territory and all that.
Mhm. You've
That.
just very eloquently and elegantly laid out in a sort of specialist's lexicon a phenomenon that I might just simply describe as they think they've got us checkmated now with respect to nuclear forces capable of reaching our homeland. And that may clear the way, as they see it, to using shorter range weapons against Taiwan, for which we really have no counterpart at the moment. And this is, again, feeding in, I fear, to calculations, maybe miscalculations, but certainly calculations by the Chinese Communist Party, Michaela, that they can now act with impunity against Taiwan, having, as I say, essentially neutralized our willingness to come to its aid. Now, some of those are my words, not yours. I grant you, but the point I think is aligned with what you've said, and I'm very keen to just get a feeling from you because we had a really chilling uh, webinar of our Committee on the Present Danger China earlier this week, in which we talked about this possibly being no drill, that the Chinese may well be preparing for imminent action against, well, Taiwan and perhaps us and maybe others. So to this point about your new monograph, what are you and your colleagues at the National Institute for Public Policy recommending be done in these circumstances?
So the most important thing is that uh, what we need to do is to come up with a comprehensive strategy there are diplomatic tools, there are economic tools that are recommend, steps that are recommended in that study, and I really commend it to your attention because incredible amount of expertise went into writing it, and
Mhm.
also force posture decisions, including perhaps reevaluating the role of missile defense in these regional scenarios. And
Mhm.
at NIPP, we have been proponents of homeland missile defense for
You
for
sure
a
have.
variety of very good reasons that you are familiar with.
Mhm.
But also, regional missile defense will continue to be important in the way we're trying to grapple with this problem and deny China ability to achieve its goal uh, sort of cheaply.
Well, again, this is a subject to which I know we'll return both with you and with others in the days ahead. Homeland missile defense, we've joined you in championing for decades, and shame on us that we don't have it in place right now because it would definitely, I think, uh, impact the Chinese calculations as to what they can do or threaten to do to us, and perhaps prevent this wholly unnecessary and undesirable conflict. Michaela Dodge, let me just close by saying your work on all of these issues over the years, and in particular on the importance of our maintaining a credible nuclear deterrent of our own, is so appreciated and so urgently needed. I wish I could say I feel it's being heeded as it should be, particularly by this administration. But I know that you and Keith Payne and others at NIPP are on the case, and we're, again, very much in need of it and very grateful for your efforts. I just wanted to say to our audience, you can get a copy of this monograph about Taiwan and what it will take to assure deterrence of an attack by China at nipp.org. A terrific outfit, and I strongly commend its work to you. Thank you, Michaela. Come back to us again soon if you would. And Godspeed with that little one. I hope the rest of you will come back to us again next time, and that you will benefit from these conversations about how to protect the country we love, and then that you will go forth and multiply.